You're muted. This side, wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again, and welcome to the virtual launch of a suite of migration studies courses that will now be offered by the University of Guyana. And we're all excited about these programs, of course. My name is Jainarine Deonauth, and I'm the Director of the Department of Events, Conferences, and Communication. As always, I'm very, very excited to be chairing this program. Please allow me to recognize a few key persons on the program. First, our esteemed Vice-Chancellor, Professor Paloma Mohamed Martin, Deputy Vice-Chancellors, Professor Emanuel Cummings for academic engagement, Dr. Melissa Eiffel for institutional advancement, and Dean Dr. Diana Gobin for administration and finance. Members of UG's senior management team, Deputy Director of the UNICEF for Guyana and Suriname, Mr. Irfan Akhtar, and Deputy Director and Head of Cooperation Global Affairs Canada, Mr. Adam Loyer, Director, International Center for Migration and Diaspora, Dr. Coreen Jacobs-Chester, and of course our students, members of the media, and all others who have taken the time to join us this morning. Thank you all and welcome again. Today's ceremony, even though small, is yet another significant occasion, the history of our university. It is a demonstration, again, of our commitment to be creative, to be forward-thinking, and to be innovative in the way we respond to the ever-changing needs and our increasingly complex society as a country and a region. The courses being launched here today are Foundation in Cognitive Behavioural Therapy offered by the College of Behavioral Sciences and Research, Migration, Law, and Policy offered by the Department of Law in the Faculty of Social Sciences, Migration, Gender, and Human Resilience offered by International Center for Migration and Diaspora Studies, which was recently launched, and some of you were at that launch last Friday. I'm confident that these course offerings are well rated, both in terms of their quality and delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, please allow me to invite our esteemed Vice-Chancellor, Professor Paloma Mohamed Martin, who will bring to us the welcoming remarks. VC, please go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you, Jai, and good morning, everyone. Please allow me to recognize and welcome, first and foremost, our friend from UNICEF, Mr. Irfan Akhtar, the Deputy Representative for Guyana and Suriname. UNICEF is a very, very excellent partner to the university. And this project today which is coming to culmination after quite a while, is one of those examples of our close collaboration. Of course, I'd like to also welcome and to make the acquaintance of Mr. Adam Loyer, who is the Deputy Director and Head of Cooperation for Global Affairs Canada. And Global Affairs Canada and Canada are supporting the project through UNICEF. And so might I ask that you extend, sir, the very best wishes and our thanks to His Excellency, the High Commissioner and his staff for this support. I'd like to also recognize those members of the government of Guyana and international organizations who have sent their congratulations. And so the director of the Diaspora unit at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ms. Rosalinda Razul, thank you. And also the head of program for IOM here in Guyana, Irenia Yaw, thank you very much, as well as others in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other places. Also to welcome the Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Academics, Professor Emanuel Cummings, who will be giving the closing remarks today. We have 3 different events happening at the same time this morning. So there is the orientation for new students happening right now, as well as others. Other items. So we are really, really, really thankful for those who are joining us this morning. Members of the media, very significant. And of course, to acknowledge the brand new director of our brand new Center for Migration and Diaspora Studies, MIDAS, as we're calling it, Dr. Coreen Jacobs-Chester. So, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, we understand a few things about how migration is affecting lives in our own country and very specifically among certain populations. This suite of programs is expected to support not only understanding and research, but also practical interventions that will assist migrant communities that are arriving in the country at a fairly rapid rate. And I cannot thank enough those persons who have worked over the last 4 months or so to support the development of these programs. As you will note, they are coming out of different departments and colleges in the university. So one of them is coming out of the Department of Law in the Faculty of Social Sciences. And I'd like to thank Dr. Kim Kite, the head of the Department of Law, and that team for developing the program. The other one is coming out of the College of Behavioral Sciences and Research, COBRAS. The other one is coming out of the, I'm not sure what happened to my camera, but it's okay. You know what I look like already. So seems somebody else is controlling what's happening with the camera. But anyway, the College of Behavioral Sciences and Research. So Dr. Khadija Khan and team for developing that one, as well as the collaborator from the UK who's working on the program. And of course, the director for the College of Behavioral Sciences and Research herself, and the director for the from MIDAS, the International Center for Migration and Diaspora Studies, Dr. Coreen Jacobs herself, and Dr. Tivia Collins, who worked on the Migration and Gender course. Now, the context in which this is happening is that the university has been responding to and assessing the ways in which we could deliver high impact programs and courses that have practical application at a very rapid rate, but also to find a way to create what we call our micro design courses, stackable courses that could eventually end up to being a kind of a diploma or a degree. And the new programs that have been designed by the university are all created with this in mind, so that you can take one course or you can take the whole suite and you can end up with something like a certificate in migration studies or a diploma in migration studies, or if you combine this with other offerings that we already have, even a degree of some kind. So I'm very, very excited to see how this is going to work, because it is perhaps the cutting edge and the way in which tertiary education of the future is going to have to emerge. I know there are many people to thank other than the UNICEF and the Canadian government for their sterling support to us, and also for their basic interest and passion in ensuring that women and children, especially in migrant communities, in our country and elsewhere, are well taken care of, and that we have policies, we have programs, we have people who can work with them in an informed, objective, professional way. We really, really appreciate the fact that you're doing this work and supporting us in doing this work. And already, of course, we did mention this program on Friday when we had the launch of our International Center for Migration and Diaspora Studies, which has gone worldwide. It's very, very fascinating how many people have actually watched that launch now. It's over 1 million people in all parts of the world, Africa, Asia, India. We got some news this morning from Arab news, and of course in English-speaking parts of the world. And so the center is really internationally poised to do great things. And even before this had happened, persons in the Caribbean had lauded our program as the first and only in the region to deal with migration in this manner. And so these programs this morning have interest in the Caribbean already. And because some of them will be offered virtually, it means that the reach that we could have in impacting not only our own country, but the region is very significant. So it's a simple ceremony, but a highly impactful one. And we want to thank everyone who have supported us, who has supported us this morning and in this journey. So I could say more, but my job is to really only welcome you. And so I say welcome in closing, as I did in the beginning, and we look forward to the high impact of these programs as we roll them out. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Vice-Chancellor, for putting all of this into context. And as always, thank you very much for your own efforts in being the driving force behind these initiatives that the university and, of course, your senior management team that this university is taking in bringing these cutting-edge courses to the benefit of our region, of our country, and our region as a whole. It's a pleasure to have the Deputy Representative of UNICEF for Guyana and Suriname, Mr. Irfan Akhtar, with us, and I'll now invite him to make remarks. Mr. Akhtar, the virtual floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jainarine and Deonauth, for your welcome. Very good morning to all. Honorable Professor Paloma Mohamed, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Guyana, very famous, very pioneering, and always forward-looking. Distinguished Deputy Vice-Chancellors, Head of Departments and Directors in the University of Guyana, Mr. Adam Loyer, Deputy Director and Head of Cooperation of Canada High Commission, my UN colleague, UNICEF colleague, especially Ms. Patricia Gittens, who has been working very closely on these courses with the University of Ghana, students, special invitees, member of the media, greetings from UNICEF, and once again, very good morning. At an outset, I would like to really extend congratulations to Professor Paloma Mohamed and the team of the University of Ghana on the launch of some of the important courses which Professor Mohamed has mentioned. I think these courses are very pragmatic, very practical, timely and relevant at this, to be very contemporary. UNICEF welcomes this partnership as it provides a sustainable approach and opportunities to enhance critical knowledge skills, expertise, and capacity within the context of both developmental and humanitarian, including migrations, which this course is related to. The course on migration being launched today will complement the wider plans of the University of Guyana and the government on migration and diaspora engagement. This is also within the broader context that Guyana is responding to one of the migration outflows in Latin America and the Caribbean, particularly the migrants from Venezuela. In this context of human mobility, children and adults are at risk of violence, abuse, exploitation during their journey and when they arrive in their destinations. So there are different kinds of vulnerabilities, exploitation at different stages of the journey and when they reach their locations. UNICEF is working with partners at all levels, globally, regionally, and country level, to understand how children are affected by migration and to advocate for better policies and plans to mitigate its adverse impact on their well-being. Receiving countries such as Guyana are required to increase its capacity and resources to manage the new and emerging context of migration. And this core, I think this is a pioneering course and very relevant at this point of time, as we have so many migrants coming from different countries, especially Venezuela. So this will provide knowledge base skills to the country to manage. The course on migration is very strategic for Guyana, particularly in the context of discussions on labor shortages, Guyana's welcoming policy on migration, and largely discussion on the diaspora engagement. As children and women are at the heart of UNICEF mandate and the work we do, we see that this course will also create an avenue for building new cultural competence as we work in the new environment, including in the fields of law and social work, which the University of Guyana has been pioneering in the field of social work as well, and providing trained social workers in the country. Collectively, let's continue to do more. And we are also happy and thankful for our partners like Global Affairs Canada being a critical partner, important partner for UNICEF in Guyana, other places. We are having early childhood development project from Canada. We are having migration projects. So I really wanted to thank Canada High Commission, Global Affairs Canada, for being a reliable partner with UNICEF. We also thank the University of Guyana for launching such important and forward-looking courses, not only these courses, but Professor Mohamed mentioned about the course which was launched last week, which got attraction globally, having more than viewer is really great achievement. It is our hope that the knowledge gained through these courses will expand the opportunities for collective engagement and productive relations among Guyanese, diaspora, and migrants that will lead to increase the protective environment needed for children. With this, I would like to again congratulate University of Guyana, Professor Mohamed and team for having a forward-looking thinking, a strategic approach to launching such a courses initiative that will benefit children in Guyana. Thank you so much. And over.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akhtar, for your comments. And thank you to your team. Please convey our thanks to Mr. Nicholas Brun. And of course, we do look forward for other collaborations. Many of you on this call will know that UG has been collaborating with UNICEF and other partners on many other projects. And we'll see those results. We're beginning to see quite really good results on that partnership. So we do look forward to working with you on several other initiatives as we move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure now to invite the Deputy Director and Head of Cooperation, Global Affairs Canada, Mr. Adam Loyer, who will provide brief remarks. Before he comes, there will be a question and answer segment, so please ensure that you have your questions ready coming down to the end of the program, and we'd be happy to answer those questions. So, Mr. Loyer, the virtual floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Jainarine Deonauth. I'm happy to be here this morning to represent the Canadian High Commission and Global Affairs Canada and the Government of Canada. I want to thank Professor Paloma Mohamed Martin, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Emanuel Cummings, Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Coreen Jacobs-Chester, Director of the newly minted International Center for Migration and Diaspora Studies, my colleague, Mr. Irfan Akhtar, Deputy Representative of UNICEF Guyana and Suriname, and his team, and all other representatives of the government of Guyana and the University of Guyana. I'd also like to thank all those participants with us this morning, the members of media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and thank you for having me. I'm pleased to join you this morning for the launch of 3 remarkable courses, namely Foundation in Cognitive Behavioural Theory, Migration, Law and Policy, and Migration, Gender and Human Resilience. These projects are a result of a collaboration between UNICEF and the University of Guyana and a catalytic use of Canadian funds. I'd also like to thank you on, congratulate you on the launch last week. As you may be aware, Canada has worked hand in hand with UNICEF both here in Guyana, in Suriname, and in the Caribbean region for many years now, collaborating with excellent institutions such as the University of Guyana. This particular funding comes from one of our Caribbean regional development programs initiatives and is aimed at promoting the dignity of humans everywhere, but particularly in migrant situations. The initiative is well aligned with Canada's feminist international assistance policy and a commitment to support Guyana and the Caribbean's efforts to adapt to instability in the flow of migrants in the region. We especially desire to help women and children navigate these difficult circumstances. The circumstances in the leading up to and following on from their decision to migrate in order to make a better future for themselves and their families. This project is also well in line with GAC's FIAP pillar, which we call human dignity, and in particular because it's a gender responsive response to a humanitarian situation. I'm particularly pleased to see the Migration, Gender and Human Resilience course among those being launched today. All upheavals we know, including those causing migration, have an enormous impact on human life. But the risks associated with these upheavals, the violence, the potential abuse, the danger, all of these have a more significant impact on women and children. This is recognized by the course I've just mentioned, and it will bring an important gender dimension to the preparation of those working with migrants in Guyana and in the region. So we'd just like to congratulate UNICEF and the University of Guyana and their International Center for Migration and Diaspora Studies on their leadership in working with many of those represented here today on the call, and this to better understand the challenges of working with vulnerable populations in migrant-causing situations. I understand that today's launch is the culmination of a deep effort of at least 4 months by all involved to really build the capacity of Guyanese working in these sectors. Thank you to all those and their teams represented here today for taking time to be part of this launch. Canada would like to express our sincere appreciation and thanks to the Government of Guyana and the University of Guyana for your partnership and successful collaboration in this effort. We trust that through this collaboration, a sustainable impact on the future of migrants in Guyana will be achieved. Thank you, and we wish all the best to future students of these courses and to the University of Guyana's efforts towards a new diploma or degree program. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Loyer, for your remarks. And of course, from our end, we're delighted to be partnering with you and UNICEF, of course, in making these courses possible to offer our students. Next on the program is the head of the International Center for Diaspora and Research Studies, Dr. Coreen Jacobs. I'm sure she's very excited to carry out the functions of this new role. So, Dr. Jacobs, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. The Vice-Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Professor Paloma Mohamed, Deputy Representative for Guyana and Suriname, Mr. Irfan Akhtar, Deputy Director and Head of Cooperation Global Affairs Canada, Mr. Adam Loyer, our dear VC, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Academic Engagement, Professor Emanuel Cummings, all other special invitees. A pleasant good morning to you. It's indeed a pleasure and an honor to be here and to be a part of this launch of our programs, because, you know, we at the University of Guyana, we want to be on par with all that is happening globally. One of the objectives of the Migration Center is to provide a framework and platform for partnership and knowledge sharing, and partnering with UNICEF and with the Canadian Global Affairs Organization. We are so happy that we have already begun to do so through the center. Partnering with academic institutions, NGOs, to enhance knowledge, technology skills, and resource sharing. So even as we launch these courses, these 3 courses, it's indeed very, very exciting to see that we are fulfilling the mandate for all three centers where these courses are coming from, enabled to help with knowledge sharing and training, because not only research is important, but also training is important. And with the help of these courses, we'll be able to better prepare our students for what is happening in the international arena. The objective is to make sure that our students are properly equipped for all that is happening, and to make sure that, and to make sure that they are aware of global issues and trends that are happening around the world. These introductory courses will bring not only this awareness, but they will also focus on causes, on challenges, causes of migration and other issues, because migration has a domino effect. The movement of people will always have a domino effect, whether it's mentally or physically. These 3 courses, and that's one of the reasons why I love interdisciplinary studies, whereby you get a chance to study holistically various issues that are happening, and you're able to have a broader picture instead of a narrow picture of how you will approach it, how you will deal with, how you will respond to things that are happening around the world. And these 3 courses are a typical example of how our students, or not even our students, because any person who is willing, because it can be used for professional development also, any person who is willing to take up these courses will have a broader aspect of all that is happening, and how they can efficiently monitor or respond to situations. One of the courses will teach students about the ways migration research is gendered, and how intersecting identities, including one's class, race, sexuality, and migrant status, influence migrants' ability to live safe lives in the country they move to. Now, even though this course, what I just read speaks to one course, it can also happen in the course that deals with it can also happen in the I forgot the name of the first course that we're launching right now, when we're talking about human resilience and we're talking about migration and mobility. So today, even as we launch these courses, I want us to take into consideration that some of these courses are not courses within themselves that persons may want to treat in isolation, but they're all interrelated. Migration is related to law. Migration is related, it affects citizenship, it affects belonging. Migration is related to resilience and gender, and they're all interconnected and transcends all of the various disciplines. So even as we launch these courses, we can look at them, we can look at them holistically, they're seriously, they're interrelated, and that they will, any person, any student wanting to register for these courses, apply for these courses, can realize that all three will benefit them in a holistic way. And so I just want to thank again the persons who made it possible, UNICEF, the Canada Global Affairs, all other persons that the Vice-Chancellor would have mentioned, who made this possible, because this is exactly the objective of our institutes here, that we not only do research, but we also do training, so that we can equip our students, equip those even in the various public sector and private sectors who would like to take up these courses. We can equip them also for all that is happening with human mobility and the challenges that human mobility brings. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Coreen, for providing those details on the courses themselves. Yes, and just to restate two quick things that you said, these courses could be used for professional development, and they're not to be treated in isolation, but they're interrelated and they transcend certain key disciplines. And of course, they'll be to the benefit of all our students in a holistic way. I'm sure we'll be ready and willing to answer further questions from students, from professionals, and all others gathered on this call, who are on this call. So please, we are at the point in the program where we will entertain questions. So if you wish to ask a question, please indicate by raising your hand, or you can also type your questions in the chat. So please let us know. Tara, please help me with the whose hand is up.
Jai, we're having a question here from someone.
Yes.
From
so
Jillian, sorry.
There's a question. Okay. Yeah. So I'm seeing. Yes, Jillian is next. But I'm seeing a question in the Q&A from Evan Prasad. He's asking, will migration history related to the arrival of indentured laborers be covered? Evan Prasad is asking, will migration history related to the arrival of indentured laborers be covered? Dr. Coreen or VC, do you wish to?
Let me answer that.
Go ahead.
So if I don't know what the particular content of these courses are, but I don't think that they are going to be dealing with the historical aspects of migration. However, the center itself has a track for research, not only on the migration history of indentured peoples of our country and the 5 or 6 other places in the world where this happened, but also on slavery as a first wave of dispersion or diaspora. But I don't know that these particular courses will deal with those. These are dealing with the contemporary context. The other programs and courses which are to be announced and being developed now for MIDAS, which is the acronym for the Migration and Diaspora Center, will address those. But Coreen, having been one of the developers of this particular one, you can address whether a historical perspective is being taken. I don't recall seeing that in the presentations for approval though.
Coreen, do you wish to add to what the VC?
Yes.
Please go
Okay,
ahead.
so let me just say that the course will touch briefly on the historical aspect of migration, because it's always good to start from a historical point of view, to have a historical foundation. The course will touch on the historical aspect of indentureship and so on, to get students to understand how the diasporas were formed and all the rest of it. But that is only a very small aspect of the course, because it will go on to talk about migration theories and other aspects of the course outline. So the historical aspect is just a small part, like one topic in the course, and the course has 15 topics.
Right. Thank you, Coreen, for providing that bit of information. I hope, of course, this is not the end. If others have questions in relation to the course offerings, you're always welcome to reach out to us. We're here to assist you with those details. So please feel free to reach out to us. Those numbers, Tara, I'm going to kindly ask Tara to share the contact information in the chat. So if persons need additional information, they can always reach out to us. PCIC,
Yeah.
on mic. Would you like to add?
I was going to say also that we should be able to, the website should be up and the course outlines should be there. If it's not by the end of today, it definitely will be up later on, and it's www.ugdiasporacenter.uog.edu.gy. So Tara can put that in as well. So that persons wanting to see what our research tracks are, what we're developing, etc., might be able to access information there, or at least post their comments or questions to those who can respond there.
Thank you very much. Yes. So Tara has posted the website address there already. So it's you can have the information that you're looking for there. And if you don't see the information that you're looking for there, we're always here to provide that assistance to you and that clarity whenever you reach out to us. So I understand Jillian is next. Jillian has been one of the persons who have really worked on the recent Diaspora conference that we hosted just recently. So Jillian, you want to go ahead with your question, please?
Actually, Jai, thank you. But Coreen just answered my question, so thank you.
Right. Good. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions or any other comments? It doesn't have to be a question. It can be a comment if you wish. Okay, I understand there is one more question.
Well, I can ask a question in the meantime. What's the cost of these? Are these courses going to be for free? Are we subsidizing them? Are they going to be for a fee? That's the question. So I think somebody sent me that question privately. So I would like to say that we will be having some scholarships for some of these courses, compliments of the sponsors who have helped us develop, and compliments of some of the course developers who have given back some of their course development money to enable some scholarships to be given. And of course, some will be subsidized, but there will be a fee for other participants. So that's the general response to that question for the person who would have sent that question to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice-Chancellor. So there's another question in the chat from Tyrone. That question is, the program seems to be targeting external migration. As the panelists would agree, migration is both external and internal. Would this new program be tracking internal migration, which, like external migration, is driven by both economics and safety concerns? Coreen, may I ask you to address that question?
Okay, so yes, a lot of the research work and the program looks at external migration because we know for many years that was the pattern that the migration took from the Caribbean diaspora. But we will also have to tap into the internal migration where we have the return of some of our diaspora who will come back home to serve. And also, if the person is talking about internal migration, where a lot of our persons are moving from the interior and coming to the capital, that too we can tap into, because I'm not so sure about that, because I know we have a lot of internal movement of persons within Guyana, but I'm not so sure about persons leaving the interior to come and settle in Georgetown and its environs like before, because of all the mining and the other different types of industries that we have happening in the interior of Guyana, where a lot of persons are leaving Georgetown and going to the borders of Guyana to look for work. So the person who is asking that question has to clarify whether it's internal migration, whereby we have our own people moving from one region to the other, or if the person is talking about, so we can understand what exactly is the question. Is the person talking about internal migration where we're moving in our different regions? Can the person clarify?
All right. Okay. So Coreen, what we probably could do is to engage that person a bit after the program to provide additional clarity. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much, Coreen. I'm looking to see if there are other questions in the chat or comments.
But if I might say,
So
right?
they're clarifying in the chat. Sorry, VC, go ahead.
Yes, as they're clarifying, I just want to say that while the center is new and we're launching these particular courses today, if persons have particular expertise and have interests in offering any courses that they might develop or they might know of, they can certainly contact the center. Because this is a wide area, right? These are a few courses that are designed for a very specific purpose of treating with some problems and situations that we are seeing now in the contemporary space. But not all of them, only, a very small slice. So those who are interested in even suggesting a research project or a course that they might have expertise for. I'm not saying that we will definitely take them on, because it's a process of approvals that we have to go through, which do not sit with my office. So I can't say, yes, definitely we'll take on everything that comes, but certainly those things that are suggested that we can take on, we would not be turning them away, so we can collaborate. So if you're out there and you're listening, I've seen some people talking about in the private chat their expertise, etc., that they would like to do something with the center. Please feel free to send a brief proposal, not anything big and long, maybe a concept paper that we can consider. Okay, just wanted to put that out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, VC, for adding that bit. I'm sure that would have cleared up quite a few concerns that persons would have had. So, Dr. Coreen, there is a clarification in the chat based on the question that was asked previously. So the clarification is internal migration of Guyanese from one section of Guyana to another, not diaspora Guyanese returning. That's the clarification being provided. Would you like to comment further?
No, the VC answered that question very well by in explaining that these courses were specifically designed for certain contemporary issues, and as we progress, because the center has just has just been launched. We will continue to look at the various types of migration and all that comes with it.
Right. So thank you very much. And is somebody saying something?
Yes, it's Jillian.
Oh, go
if
ahead,
I may-
Jillian. Yes,
Sorry,
go
I
ahead.
just wanted to add also that as has been clarified, these are just specific courses. There are 5 disciplines within the center. So there are other areas also that will cover other migration and diaspora elements within the center. So once the website is available, as the Vice-Chancellor has indicated, folks will be able to look at all of the disciplines that are going to be covered by the center. And I'm sure there will be interest in other areas. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jillian. And of course, as a university, we're always open to suggestions from various stakeholders, from our students especially, what they wish to see the university, how they think the university can better serve them. And so please feel free to reach out to us. The website information is there for you to access the website. And of course, there's the General University of Guyana website if you have any further questions on the other courses that we offer as the National University. Please, you're always welcome to contact us at any time. Are there any, I'm seeing another question in the chat from Evan Prasad. He's asking, will human trafficking into Guyana be covered? He's asking also a second question, is the construction of Silica City and its future peopling, is future what? Is the construction of Silica City and the future suitable topic, future peopling a suitable topic? So 2 questions being asked, 2 follow-up questions being asked by Evan Bersat. Let me just go them through very quickly. Will human trafficking into Guyana be covered? I guess that's in the program he's asking about, the courses that we're offering. Secondly, is the construction of Silica City and its future peopling a suitable topic? Coreen, or Vice-Chancellor,
can I say,
please go ahead.
I'm asking if Dr. Kite, who is the head of the Department of Law, is in the room. I know she was traveling, and I'm not sure she's here with us today, but I do know that we do have trafficking as part of the migration and law course that is being offered as part of the suite. The question of whether Silica City and its populating could be a topic of interest. It certainly is an exciting one. It's not one that we have focused on, of course, but if somebody has a research project that they have in mind that we could get support for, or they could get support for to execute under the research, one of the research tracks in the center, it certainly would be something that I think could be of interest, but certainly that's not on our radar at the moment.
All right, thank you very much, Vice-Chancellor. I hope we've answered the questions posed in the chat by those on this call. Of course, our partners, UNICEF and Global Affairs Canada, they're on this call too, and they've made their presentations. Please feel free to comment. We still have a bit more time. If you wish to make a comment before we go to the final item on the program, that's the closing remarks by our Deputy Vice-Chancellor, you're welcome to make your comments at this stage. Mr. Akhtar and Mr. Loyer, please feel free, or any other of our stakeholders on this call. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Jainarine, Deonauth, for having this interactive session. I think it is very important also to understand the perspective and expectation from these courses. And I see this is a very stimulating questions, and I believe this is the beginning of the course, some of these courses, looking at the current needs, but does not mean a stop here. These are the evolving courses, and probably we have to mix, match, and tailor-made according to pressing needs. As in the beginning, I mentioned that these courses are very much forward-looking. Does not mean that it will stop somewhere. There will be, time to time changes in the curriculum and content based on the needs. But I must say that Guyana is at the crossroad of juncture of transforming very rapidly. And so there will be many changes in the country. Not currently we are talking about migration from Venezuela, some other countries, but internal migration is also going to take place rapidly because of transformation, because of the economic growth. So there will be a lot of migration from Georgetown to some of the other areas where will be economic activities taking place, but also from those regions to coming to Georgetown, being a capital. So in all emerging countries, such context, there is a lot of migration, and this course will be kind of a torch and a light to provide some kind of knowledge base, equipping with the technical expertise. So I just wanted to say that this is very timely to introduce this course, and with the lens we have currently, but also this course will be open to accommodate some of the emerging needs and issues coming up. And we will be happy to further work with the UG and the team to assess the need and the opportunities, whereby if there is a need to include some of the new courses, we'll be happy to support and work on that one. Over. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Akhtar. Are there any other comments, questions from the floor? Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, all right, so we're well within the time. The final item on the program is the closing remarks by our Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Academic Engagement, Professor Emanuel Cummings. Professor Cummings, the virtual floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jainarine. Pleasant good morning to everyone. Our distinguished Vice-Chancellor, our partners from UNICEF, Global Affairs Canada, our Director of the Institute, Dr. Coreen Jacobs, all the senior members of the academic community, and colleagues all. I think this institute that was recently launched, Institute of Migration Study, Diaspora Migration Studies, is one that is critical and one that is, to my mind, can be one of the flag bearers, not only of the institution, but of the country. We live in a dynamic world where persons, going back from 1492, from the time of Columbus to now, and we've seen the issue of migration, which is an old one. Europeans coming to the Americas, Asians coming to the Americas, and now we have persons from the Caribbean going back to Europe. And so there's a lot of dynamics there, and so I think that these courses that have been commissioned today, particularly the one with law and gender, will certainly address a lot of the issues with respect to persons' movement across the world. At one time, I can recall at the curriculum level, there was the discussion of nurses. Nurses, a lot of our nurses do migrate. And so at one time, curriculum was speaking about having a contract with the developing world with respect to, instead of these nurses going on their own, and most of them are females, and that by itself creates its own vulnerability. And I think because of that, we didn't see that official agreement, which at the level of curriculum that it started, we're looking at the migration of nurses to the developing world. But we see also how migration also contributes to the financial aspect of most countries. And so there's a lot of scope for research. We can see the effects of migration of Caribbean persons going to the developing world and having monies, remittances, that's the term we use, that comes back and benefit us here. I was eating something and it's choking. So that's why I have this issue. Now, but also in my discussion with Mrs. Jacobs at the launch on Friday, I did mention to her that there are two aspects, which I think, and I think some of that came out in some of the questions. One spoke about internal migration. There was a study that was done within the School of Medicine in collaboration with University of Aberdeen in Scotland, to which I supervise. The movement of the indigenous population from the hinterland to the city, and what effect that would have in terms of their lifestyle and the risk for chronic disease. And I think that is something which I would wish to suggest that can be an important aspect of the research arm of this institute. And there's numerous studies that have been done with respect to suicide. As a matter of fact, migration is one of the factors that's usually investigated with respect to suicide in order to determine the genetic influence of suicide. A lot of studies have been done. We have in Region 6, which we considered as the area that has highest incidence of suicide in the country. But what might be useful is for us, if these persons from Region 6, if they would have migrated, to see if the risk of or the incidence of suicide still exists in that particular family, where you can follow families, all in all, to really make a case for the genetic implications and see if being in a different environment, what impact that may have. And most of all, something which is my pet area, and every opportunity that I have, I will infuse them. And it's something for us to think about as a university, as we establish this institute. The issue of prostate cancer. Now, and I will say that the Caribbean region has the highest prevalence, mortality rates of prostate cancer in the world. Now, where does the people from the Caribbean come from? They come from Africa, they come from Asia. But when you go back to these countries, the incidence is not as high as compared to us in the Caribbean. So, the whole aspect of migration study, these are persons who have migrated, who have come from Asia, from Africa. So there are a lot of environmental factors that might have contributed. And also we look at studies for persons from the Caribbean who now moved to North America. So you move originally from Africa to Asia, and we see difference in terms of the risk for particular disease, in terms of behavioral patterns. And then you move from the Caribbean back to North America and Europe. And so these are the type of, the migration dynamics and some of the issues that it can create for research and trying to understand environmental factors and its implications for a number of chronic diseases. And so I think this is an area which a lot of the courses being commissioned today deal primarily with the social and behavioral aspects, but also the disease aspect, which is indeed a critical factor, because at the end of the day, our health indicators is one that we're all should have an interest in. And so in giving those remarks, just to maybe infuse some other areas which I think are of importance, and to show you how dynamic this institute can be, and looking the whole aspect of migration, looking at the socioeconomic factors, the health factor, the social implication, the health implications, and all the other behavioral implications, and also the issue of language, cultural integration, and everything else. And so I do, in my own mind, and I think in all of us, we see this as very groundbreaking, as an institute which certainly can be a major flag bearer for the university, the country, and certainly we will have a greater understanding as to what are some of the implications of migration, and how through research we should be in a position to address a number of these issues. So I wish to thank, as our Vice-Chancellor, the entire university academic community for supporting the approval of this institute through the different processes, the academic community for the support, and certainly this launcher today, our Director of DECC, Mr. Jainarine, Chair, other persons who've been present here today, our partners. UNICEF has been such a key partner in everything that we do. And certainly we look forward with our very distinguished director, who I think is very dynamic and understands the role which the university can play in the rolling out of this institute. And I do look forward for us working, seeing migration studies, being integrated across the university in many areas. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity, for giving these remarks, and I do look forward for very exciting times as we roll out the work of this institute. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Cummings, for adding that interesting and very useful perspective to the discussion, and for your closing remarks. Thank you very much to all our partners once again, and those who are on this call. Please, before you leave, we would like the panelists to turn on their cameras so that we can get a group photograph. So could I please ask all the panelists to turn on their photographs, their cameras, please. And also just a gentle reminder that the website for the International Center for Diaspora and Research Studies, we've posted that in the chat. So if you need additional information, the websites, of course, for the other department, information for the other departments that are offering these courses, the Faculty of Social Sciences, Department of Law, and the College of Behavioral Sciences and Research. Those information, they're all available on the website. So please feel free to go there and contact us if you need further assistance. So all the cameras are on for the panelists. Tara, you can please go ahead. I'm still, Coreen, could you put on your camera? If you
I'm not getting a chance to put it on, Jay. It's saying that I can't, that somebody took it off.
Okay. All right, just give us 2 seconds or so until we can fix that. Yes, we are seeing you now, Coreen. Coreen, we are seeing you. All right, so yeah, so I'm seeing our partner, Mr. Loyer. Do you wish to put on your camera and VC, so that we can get a group photograph?
I believe my camera is on.
Oh yes, we're seeing you now. Yes, okay. Vice-Chancellor is there now. Right, so Tara, when you're ready, 1,
3, 2, 1, smile everyone. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much to all of you. So please do enjoy the rest of the day. And thank you to all others who have joined. Thank you very much. Do have a pleasant rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Professor. And thank you, Mr. Deonauth. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Good luck.